sometimes during the breathwork, people don't even know where they are anymore. They don't even know, was I hearing her? Was I not hearing her? So what people don't realize, everybody's saying, take a deep breath, we need to breathe more. Even in the fitness community, I'm always amazed to hear this. We need to breathe more. People don't realize that most people overbreathe, actually. We breathe too much. And this could be for many different reasons. A lot of it is stress-related. If you are more efficient in using oxygen, you have better muscle efficiency, you delay the onset of fatigue and the lactic acid buildup. Some people, they really want to do breathwork and they want these experiences they see on YouTube, people crying or screaming. And I always tell them, don't chase any sensation, or any emotion. If you need it, it will come. It helps your body release. The only people who can benefit from knowing how to breathe better are the people who breathe. Everybody breathes.
Jiena Klera Ġusordwi, naħdem fuq it-televiżjoni u anke fil-medja soċjali. Passjoni kbira l fitness u dak kollu li jista' jgħinna biex inħossuna tajbin mentalment u fiżikament. Dak kollu li nitgħallem, nirriċerka u nistaqsi ser inkun qed niddiskutih ma' professjonisti u nies b'esperjenzi li ser jagħtuna għodda li nistgħu nużaw biex ngħixu ħajjitna bl-aħjar mod possibbli. Nilqawkom għal podcast ieħor, ikolli nisqar dan il-podcast wieħed mill-iktar li xtaqt nagħmel u ħanfehmkom l-istorja għalfejn. Mela, kif tafu għal min ingħaqad magħna l-ewwel darba dan il-podcast huwa fuq is-saħħa mentali, fuq is-saħħa fiżika u qed nippruvaw kemm nistgħu nagħtu għodda u nġibu werf man dawk li qed jiġu biex aħna naqsmuha magħkom issiru tafu dwarha u tkunu tistgħu tutilizzawha fil-ħajja tagħkom. Issa, ftit tal-xurilu fil-bidu li bdejna l-podcast għax dan ħataraw anka fis-sajf, jiena kont ġibt lil Pavla Borg illi qiegħda hawnhekk. Pavla sirt naf biha permezz ta' ħbieb tiegħi u jiena kont diġà interessata fil-cold exposure minħabba l-fitness u hekk bdejt infittex imma kont wisq chicken fil-bidu biex nipprova xina nħoss ħafna bart. Insomma, biex nagħmel l-istorja ma nagħmilx twila. Mort għand Pavla, l-ewwel student tal-podcast u Pavla naf illi hija esperta fuq breathwork u fuq il-cold immersion. Iżda, meta ġibt tal-podcast, jiena kont għadni ma attendejtx il-workshop tagħha. Allura, sa dak iż-żmien qed ngħidilkom il-verità, breathwork jien minn għalija li kien li tieħu n-nifsijiet u meta nkun eċitata forsi ħa nippreżenta xi ħaġa nitgħallem nieħu n-nifs, jew nieħu n-nifs qabel ma ninżel fl-icebath. U meta ġiet hawnhekk qisni breathwork ma esplorajtux biżejjed u tkellimt ħafna iktar fuq cold exposure. Imbagħad mort tal-workshop tagħha u pruvajna t-tnejn. Ippruvajna l-breathwork u provajt il-cold exposure. Il-cold exposure għal min qed isegwi l-Instagram tiegħi u hekk jaf li jiena ssaf fis-sajt u qed nippritka lil kulħadd biex jippruvah għax tantu beneficial u tant qed ingawdi minnu u ssir iktar reżiljenti. Ma nistax nemmen li ħanajda dil-ħaġa jiena li konċi kien qas ġieli ninżel nhom fis-sajf. Illum kważi ġismi kollu bżonn ix-xawer ta' filgħodu, imma din qed nispjegaha permezz tal-Instagram. Iżda, meta mort għal dan il-workshop wara li għamna l-podcast, esperjenzajt xi tfisser breathwork u ndunajt li ma kellix idea ta' xi jfisser. U issa li qed niltaqa' man-nies u qed nipprova ngħaddi l-kelma, qed ninduna li ħafna nies ma jafux x'inhi u allura il-Pavla tila Pavla mill-pjaċir, erġajja ħanitkellmu għaliex meta jien esperjenzajt dan il-breathwork, lanqas naf fi ħanibda. Kienet esperjenza wis sabiħa, għalija għadu challenging u għat irrid nesplora kif ħanibda ninkorporah iktar f'ħajti u dan il-podcast vera nixtieq li segwuh. Ħalli titalmu ftit x'inhu min huwa atleta, min mhuwiex, min jixtieq jieleb ċertu sfidi. Ibdew isimgħu dan il-podcast, jekk għadkom ma smajtux tal-icebath morru għandi podcast ieħor tistgħu issibu fuq iċ-channel tagħna. Fuq l-icebath iżda llum ħanitkellmu fuq breathwork. Tkellimdi bil-Malti għaliex Pavla ilha tgħix hawnhekk għal ħafna snin u tifhem bil-Malti, but she'll speak in English, ovvjament ħan nitkellmu bl-Ingliż. Kemm nagħtikom ftit informazzjoni, Pavla Borg hija management and health coach, fundatriċi ta' My Heroic Wellness, l-ewwel persuna f'Malta kwalifikata fil-Wim Hof Method u għalliema tan-nifs soma f'Malta. Tħobbtejn lin-nies u din qed nesperjenza issa, tħobbtejn lin-nies jgħixu ħajjithom aħjar billi tinkorpora l-prinċipji fundamentali tal-għajxin, billi integra l-erf ta' qabel ix-xjenza moderna u s-sens komun. Illa tgħix Malta l-25 sena u għamlet aktar minn 140 klassi online għal sena u nofs ma' nies ta' madwar id-dinja. Tħobb tispira lin-nies biex jieħdu ħsieb lilhom infushom bis-serjetà, taqsam riċetti, meditazzjoni, sfidi, mhix dilettanta ta' training estrem di tajjeb li insomma permezz ta' dawn il-cold exposure u tal-breathwork u ħajja li tgħix irnexxiela tagħmel Spartan Race f'Los Angeles f'4 xhur marret tajjeb għalkemm hija barra mill-comfort zone. Pavla, thanks for coming again. You understood what I said.
Iva.
You understood how important it was for me to explain breathwork, because this is happening to me. When I came, I explored breathwork for the first time. I admit that I didn't understand when it first came, so I asked you again, please come and explain. So what happened when we came? I had the pleasure and the honor to attend one of your workshops. It's a day workshop in which we immerse ourselves in the cold. We explained the cold already, but before the cold exposure, we did breathwork. And just let me explain it in my words, and then I'll ask you questions. What happened, we had 6 rounds of breath. It's like, if I had to explain it, it's like it was fitness for me. It wasn't an easy thing to do. 6 rounds, we started, you taught us how to take our breaths deeply, and then we stopped breathing for a few seconds, increasing the time with every round. In the 3rd round, I remember I was really anxious, panicking. I was about to remove my mask because she put us flat on the floor and she covered us because we might feel cold, and I felt cold. And in the 3rd round, I remember I was panicking, but I talked to myself and I said, hey, I'm here. I was listening and concentrating on your voice, and I managed to get through. Then the 4th, the 5th was easier, the 6th was easier. And then what I remember is then I was awake. I thought I was awake all the time. But what I remember is you asking me, for how long do you think this has been going on? And I said for about 15 minutes, and you told me it was about an hour or even more. And I was in awe. And what I felt is that it was, I don't know, it's an experience I never went through. It was hard work, but at the same time, very pleasurable. The feeling after was as if I accomplished something really out of this world. Now, from what you're hearing, am I saying it right? Is it something people experience?
Obviously, you're saying it. First of all, thank you for having me here. I love talking about breath, even more than the cold. For me, the breath is key to our health and wellness. And obviously, you're saying your personal experience. Sometimes during the breath work, people don't even know where they are anymore. They don't even know, was I hearing her? Was I not hearing her? You know, so every experience will be also different. Like, it doesn't have to take that long. Obviously, during the workshop, I prepare you well, and I take you for a whole, like with the meditation and the ending, it's 1 hour. But as a daily practice, you don't need more than 15 minutes. I'd like to say that first of all, so people don't think that it takes so long. Fantastic. All you need is like 3 rounds of breathing. Now, the latest study that they published on perceived stress, they actually did only 3 rounds with the people for 2 weeks, and they found a significant decrease in perceived stress. And I'm happy to say they were actually women in this randomized trial study, because often women are not included in studies.
So to start from the beginning, what we're explaining is not the breath work we're used to listening to, taking some breaths to calm your heart. It's actually like a fitness exercise. You do I'm learning a lot about it. A lot of people are incorporating it as part of their morning routine. So it's like a fitness thing, it's a 15. But why should we do it? It's something really ancient, really and truly. Now it's...
Well, when you talk about breathwork, you have to differentiate breath awareness practices, like the classic mindfulness, just focusing on your breath, and then breath control techniques. Now here we're more into the breath control. We're changing the way we breathe. It is not about how you should breathe all day long. And I really want to stress on this because in my workshop, I always believe it's important to cover the functional breathing, how you should breathe correctly throughout the day, and differentiate it from this practice. Because this is just like your training, like your HIT. You wouldn't do it all day long, yes? But that doesn't mean it's not good for you. Yes, it is a practice that you use to increase the adaptation of your body to breathe better the rest of the day. Like let's say this is the 1% of the breaths that you take in a day. So this is to help you breathe better in the rest 99%. Because unfortunately, what people don't realize, everybody's saying, take a deep breath, we need to breathe more. Even in the fitness community, I'm always amazed to hear this. We need to breathe more. People don't realize that most people overbreathe actually. We breathe too much. And this could be for many different reasons. A lot of it is stress related. A lot of it is because of these different myths that we have. We just feel like we need more oxygen, but actually there is this oxygen paradox. Too much oxygen leads to oxidative stress. Like your car, just because you give it more fuel, it's not going to drive better.
Wow.
You need the balance. It's all about the balance. They say life is a delicate balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide. And to have full oxygenation of your body, you don't really need more oxygen. You need to have right balance between oxygen and the carbon dioxide.
In fact, I was going to ask you, when we had this first experience and then I had the pleasure to try it even more and it's becoming easier. Sometimes if I'm a little bit stressed, it might be a little bit distressing. But the last time I managed with you, it was really calming. It was a totally different effect. So what we do in each round, first you take deep breaths and then like you stop breathing. What's happening to our body? Why should we do it? And why you don't feel the need to breathe at the end?
Okay, so basically every round has 3 phases. So first there is the hyperventilation phase. It's not long. Like hyperventilation all day long would be bad for you, but this is controlled hyperventilation. Basically breathing more than you need to, only about 30-40 breaths. Then we take a pause. On an exhale, we stop breathing. So we do a breath hold. And then the last phase is we take another breath hold, but this time with full lungs. We take an inhale, and we hold it for only about 10-15 seconds. Now each part has a place there and is important. Different things happen in these 3 parts of the breathwork. Like we are not after just calming our nervous system, like, if you take this alternate nostril breathing, for example, from pranayama, or many breathing practices where the intention is to calm you down. Here, actually, during the overbreathing, we're stressing our body. We are taking it literally on a journey between the fight and flight, the sympathetic, and the rest and digest parasympathetic state. And then with the recovery breath, the last breath hold with the full lungs, we bring everything into balance. And that's where we really fully oxygenate our body, because we have enough oxygen and enough carbon dioxide. Now, a lot of things happen during each round. You can do 3 is like the minimum, you can do 4. Sometimes during the workshops, instructors choose 4, or I choose 6 rounds, because I feel, especially for people like do it for the first time like you, it takes time to get into the rhythm, get to the flow, because it is breath work. You have to breathe deeper than usual, faster than usual. And if you've never done any kind of breath work, I can't take you full on from the first round, because you could actually do more harm than good if you don't have the biomechanics right. Like I always go into the biomechanics of breathing. Every breath has three different components. There is the psychology that affects how you breathe. There is the biomechanics, which muscles you use and so on. And then there is the biochemistry. And during these rounds, we actually change the chemistry of our body.
Exactly.
We completely flip it around and back. We play this game with our chemistry, with our pH, with the levels of oxygen and the carbon dioxide. And at the end, we reach this optimal physiological balance. And this is really to make us more optimal in using our oxygen. Yes, become more efficient, because that's what it's all about.
In fact, in the last session, I was amazed because you told us that it took me personally 2.5 minutes to breathe, and I didn't feel the need.
Yeah.
So I was amazed at what was happening. It was, and when you tell us, when I hear you say now stop breathing, it's such a relief, because you work so hard to put in. To take the deep breaths, and then when you say stop breathing, it's a relief, and you don't feel the need to breathe. And that is amazing. I was really, that's why I'm trying to get the message across. Unfortunately, I didn't post about it yet because I can't film myself during breathing, but I would like to portray it sometime so that more people know about it. I would like to ask you, what are the benefits of doing such breathing techniques? Dan il-podcast ma kienx ikun possibbli mingħajr.
Welby's loyalty scheme. Spend €50 and receive €3 cashback or 400 bonus points. Spend €100 and choose between €7 cashback, 1,000 bonus points, 3 packets of water, or 5 bottles of soft drinks. Double points when purchasing Carrefour products. Download our loyalty app and redeem your points for vouchers and cashback. Find more price drops at Welby's supermarket.
Red il-mar, frott il-baħar b'toma unika għal kull staġun, f'kontenituri faċli biex jinfetħu. Red il-mar, frott il-baħar ta' kwalità superjuri għal kulħadd. Variety is the spice of life. When it comes to cheese, we're all after quality, taste and variety. If it's cheese, it's Fior di Vita.
Why believe the hype when you can taste it? The Pepsi Taste Challenge is making its way to Malta. But can your taste buds handle it? There's only one way to find out. Take 2 sips from 2 mystery cups and tell us which one tastes better for you. Take the challenge and follow your taste.
The Kolyosh Greek yogurt has a natural, gentle and creamy taste. It is a high-protein, refreshing snack. Kolyosh Authentic Greek Yogurt. Baroness is a low-in-fat, lactose-free cheese, which is rich in calcium and natural milk protein. Baroness is made from Austrian pasteurized milk. Keeping you healthy, Baroness.
Goulon, a selection of sugar-free biscuits.
Well, anybody can use it, really. Of course, Wim is an ex-athlete, so it attracts a lot of people from the athletic world to improve their performance, because if you are more efficient in using oxygen, you have better muscle efficiency, you delay the onset of fatigue and the lactic acid buildup, because like I said, we change the pH of our blood, so it's more alkaline, so it delays this acidification, in your muscle that really makes you tired and stop training or getting worse time in a competition or so on. And so it attracts a lot of athletes, but also it attracts a lot of people who have these autoimmune conditions or any condition related to chronic stress, any anxiety, who want to manage their stress. We have a lot of people that benefit from this. There are hundreds, thousands, I would say even millions of people actually doing this, and they do it not because it's written inside it will help them. They do it because they feel better.
Yes.
because we have a lot of science that supports the method, and it's still being researched, but science is slow, and sometimes it's difficult to find funding for things like breathwork.
In fact, that's what I say. When I tried it, I said, why don't people promote it more? It should be promoted more because people need to know, because this is another tool. I was speaking to Neela Juice, who's going to do this big feat. He said he uses it as his superpower.
Yes, yes.
He's so much into breathing, and he uses it, and he feels that he has an extra tool to do what he does. And that's what it is.
Like most top athletes do, breathwork nowadays, they call it the new yoga, yes, but it's not real because it was one of the first origin, they call them limbs of yoga. Breathwork, like you said, it's an ancient practice, but in the West we are more opening up into the power of breathwork and into the importance of breathwork, because the only people who can benefit from knowing how to breathe better are the people who breathe. Everybody breathes.
Exactly.
And we don't think about it. We focus so much on what we eat, our sleep, which are all important. What we put in our body, on our environment. But when you think about it, all these things are conditioned by how we breathe.
Exactly.
And I wish I knew this when my children were young. I would be watching them sleep and watching, are they breathing with their mouth? Are they breathing with their nose? What could I do? How could I help them manage stress before an exam? I really think we should teach this in school, how to use breath to down-regulate your nervous system, to up-regulate your nervous system, to be in that state of flow if you go for a presentation.
Exactly.
The breath has everything in it for you. You can literally, it's like a portal, we call it. You can switch between active state and calm state before you sleep. Forget sleeping pills, you don't need pills, but this will not be encouraging to fund, because of course you can't sell it, you can't sell air.
It won't generate any money for anyone. While I was reading about it, there's this word, hypoxia. What does it mean?
Yes, actually, hypoxia means low oxygen state, but what happens, it's one of the most amazing things I like about this breathwork, which I feel it's separated from many other breathwork practices out there, that apart from having that over-breathing stage where we breathe more and deeper, there is the breath hold. And breath holding, I think it's one of the best stress management training tools for anyone, where you enter the state of, like you said, first very, very calm, and because of the over-breathing in the first phase, we can prolong it. We can prolong it up to even 2 minutes, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, even 3 minutes, and enter the state of what's called intermittent hypoxia. Intermittent meaning it's short term. And if it was long term hypoxia, that's not good for you, obviously. But because it's short term, again, it forces your body to adapt. Now, athletes have been doing it for many, many years. When they go to the mountains, when they train in the low oxygen environment, they're really forcing their body to adapt to lower oxygen to become more efficient in using oxygen, supplying oxygen to where it needs to go. And you don't have to go to the mountains. You can bring the mountain to you just by doing this training. Because when you enter this hypoxia, usually it takes about 90 seconds of breath holding, which your body won't allow you. If you want to now hold your breath, most probably majority of people, unless you're really well trained, will not be able to hold their breath for 90 seconds. And you need that time for the blood oxygen saturation to drop. They say about 85% and below, you're entering this intermittent hypoxic state. And that has so many magical effects in your body, because your body starts, first of all, adapting to the low oxygen. How? The kidneys start releasing this hormone, erythropoietin. You might have heard about it if you research some doping, EPO, but you can actually do it with your body, creating it itself, naturally, where this erythropoietin really makes the body produce more red blood cells, again, the carriers of oxygen in your body, more blood vessels being grown, Also, it has other benefits like, we have stem cells, yes? Stem cells in our body, but they're hiding. They don't like high oxygen environment. When we're born, they hide in these hypoxic niches, like a lot of them are in bone marrow. And if you are in a low oxygen state, it's been hypothesized actually that these stem cells are released and you can direct them to where they need to go, where the body most need them.
In fact,
so
you
it's
say...
like key to regeneration of your body.
You tell us to, for example, maybe if you had a headache, maybe you concentrate on that. You guide us on how to take our breaths, where to direct it. In fact, what I can say, and I really would like to stress about it, is that you do it with someone professionally. You kept us really safe. You put blankets around us. For example, I felt a bit nausea, I felt tingling, I was cold. So I would really suggest that anyone who tries it with someone who's professional about this. I felt different things in my body, but then in later sessions, they were less. I didn't feel so much nausea because I got used to it.
I mean, you will know better how to do it, yes? Mm-hmm. Obviously, the first time, so many things affect your experience. So many things, even so many things affect how easily and how long you can hold the breath hold. In fact, I don't force you. I always tell you, if you need to take that inhale before, you have that guidance. I mean, even how you slept, affects your experience. So many things go into that, and every time it's different, really. Just like the ice bath, I would say every time is a little bit different. It's where it finds you, and I always believe that the breathwork will give you what you need. Like, I don't like when people try to induce some states. Like, some people, they really want to do breathwork and they want these experiences they see on YouTube, people crying or screaming. And I always tell them, don't chase any sensation, or any emotion. If you need it, it will come. It helps your body release. But it's still good for you. Even if you don't. Yes.
There were different reactions.
Yes,
I could feel that there weren't any mental reactions. I just felt a lot of pleasure once it was over, because I felt I did something which was hard, out of my comfort zone, but the effects were amazing. Now, what I would like to do is incorporate it in my morning routine, which I didn't succeed yet. I have succeeded in incorporating the cold shower, but now I want to incorporate this because it helps athletes as well.
It's a great combination, actually, with the cold and the studies that we have, because first we looked at if it works and how it works. Like, I didn't mention this powerful anti-inflammatory effect that has been shown by the famous endotoxin study, and it was very, very clear. Like, the anti-inflammatory proteins in the body were reduced by more than half. The pro-inflammatory proteins, and the anti-inflammatory protein was actually boosted by 200%. So this is very powerful for people who have out-of-control inflammation, like these autoimmune conditions and so on. Then we looked at more detail. They did follow-up studies. And the latest study, we looked at from which part the most benefits come from. And actually, breathwork was even more powerful than the cold exposure. But the most effect was from the combination on the body, all these healthy benefits that they found. So I always tell people, if you're just doing the cold, you're not doing the best way, you're not doing the Wim Hof method and having all the potential that it has to offer you. The same if you're just doing the breath work. Ideally, you combine them. And the shower, obviously, it's easier to incorporate because we have a shower a day, I hope. So you just turn it to cold, yes? But the breath work, it takes that to move through that resistance of, okay, I'm going to take 15 minutes for myself of breathing. I would suggest just aim for 5 minutes. Don't think of 15 minutes, because when you do the first 5 minutes, maybe you just do the first round, it's so much easier to continue to do the next 2 rounds.
Fantastic.
If it's the minimum that you cannot fail. Yes, and stacking the habits, like with the breathwork and the cold shower, it really helps when you keep them together. Also, first thing in the morning, it helps you, it wakes you up, it energizes you. It helps your detoxification as well. It's very powerful effect, detoxification, when you're breathing with the diaphragm. We cover all this in the workshop. So that's great as well to start with that in the morning. Make sure you drink a lot of water. And also it has the benefits of meditation. So in a way, you don't need to meditate if you've done this breath work, because it's a meditation in itself. In fact, at the end, everybody always tells me, I feel so peaceful. I haven't felt this peaceful. Indeed. Like you tell me about these uncomfortable sensations, but there is always the discomfort with the comfort, discomfort with the bliss. You're literally going, because what we're doing, we're releasing, they call it endorphin. It's this hormone which makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, but it also boosts your sensitivity to endorphin. It's the bliss, the hormone that makes you feel good. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you need the discomfort to feel the bliss. Exactly. Yes, so it's training. It's like adaptation technique, I would say.
I'm really glad you found the time just to introduce. We introduced this subject, maybe to anyone who's listening or watching or YouTube. I hope we've interested you a bit to research about it, maybe ask even messages to Pavla. We will be sharing her page because it's really beneficial. And when I really believe in something, I stay maybe annoying people, but once I benefit from something, I would love that anyone tries it, and I'm really happy and honored I got to try it. The last question I would like to ask you, how did you explore this? And do you remember your first experience?
With this? Uh-huh. What got me really onto breath, or to discover the power of the breath, funnily enough, were the cold showers. And it's not really true, because lately I've been thinking about this question, and I actually discovered what breath can do for me 23 years ago when I was giving birth to my first daughter, my only daughter, but my first child. And I remember, because I wanted a natural birth, and what I used was my breath actually, so it was a really powerful painkiller already then. But that was it, it stopped there. I never even...
You didn't think about it?
I didn't think where else I could take it. It was okay, there, done, and then you become busy bringing up these children. And then I've done yoga, I've done pranayama, but it never sort of had that powerful reset effect on me that I would stay with it. In fact, I used to find it a little bit boring, just like I used to find meditation difficult. It was when I discovered the cold, and the breathwork actually helped me to change my relationship with the cold. And that's when I realized the power. And since then, I'm the biggest breath nerd. I study all different techniques. I don't limit myself just to the Wim Hof method. And I really feel the key to our health is in the breath, and especially with our mental health, but even the physiological health. The more you read about it, you can't stop. There's just so much, and the world is opening up to it. Yeah.
Fantastic, and thank you for bringing these amazing tools to us. You really have a passion about it. You want to help everyone. You welcome everyone, because at first I might have felt a bit intimidated. I knew no one, but you made me feel really comfortable. So what I will keep doing is I will keep following you, annoying you maybe, but also promoting your work, because you're really doing a lot, and you're giving us tools to help us in our everyday lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you for having this space too.
Thank you for being with us. Nittama li joġobkom dan il-podcast, jekk tistaw dan naqsmuh kemm tistaw, ħalli aktar nies jisimgħu b'din il-prattika. Ma' Pavla għandi podcast ieħor fuq cold exposure ukoll fejn tħanna fid-dettall. Isimgħu l-ewwel dak u mbagħad isimgħu dan, u dejjem segwuna fuq is-social pages tagħna, fuq l-Instagram, Facebook, u mbagħad issibu dawn il-podcast fuq Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, insomma ssibuhom anke tislu f'link in bio fil-page tagħna u issibu iċ-channels kollha. Grazzi ħafna u niltaqgħu podcast ieħor.